Hey, you guys ever play that game, Two Truths and a Lie? You know, the one where you say 3 statements about yourself, 2 are true, 1 is false, and everybody has to guess which one is the lie? It's a fun game, right? Well, I thought I'd throw my own spin on it today with the help of this big hunk of rock here in Cumberland, Rhode Island. You see, this rock has some kind of cultural, historical, or natural significance to it, and it's gonna be your job to guess what that is. I'm gonna tell you 5 different stories about this rock. One of them is gonna be true, and the other 4 are gonna be something I just completely made up. And just for fun, I think I'm gonna present each of those 5 stories in 5 different styles of video that you might find on YouTube about this sort of thing. So let's get to it. Have you ever heard the phrase, the place where it all began? Have you ever seen a child hurt an animal and wondered if that behavior might be indicative of something more sinister? Have you ever been somewhere and felt uneasy, as if the very land you're standing on has been embedded with evil? Standing here on this rock, all those questions and more come to mind. You see, back in 1968, 2 teenagers used this rock as their own personal operating table. And their patients? Well, that would be any of Rhode Island's local wildlife or lost pets that might be unfortunate enough to cross their path. Dozens of dogs, cats, squirrels, raccoons, and many more met their fate here at the hands of Richard Agalick and Paul Winchester, both of whom were only 14 years old during their sadistic summer of torture. The boys would set snare traps all across their neighborhood and the surrounding woods, hoping to catch any kind of animal they could get their hands on. Once they caught something, they would drag the poor creature up to this rock here and methodically tear it to pieces. Now, as horrifying as this sounds on its own, the story gets much worse. You see, both boys would later grow up to be convicted of murder independent of one another. Richard Agalick was the first, back in 1981, convicted of strangling a prostitute in Indianapolis, Indiana. Winchester was convicted in 1984 of shooting a man to death after a bar fight here in Cumberland, Rhode Island. Interestingly, both men would later claim more bodies to their names. Agalick stating that he had killed 3 additional women in Indiana, and Winchester taking responsibility for the brutal stabbing of a homeless man in Providence, Rhode Island that had been unsolved since 1975. Now, even if these extra murders are pure fiction, the 2 killings that have been confirmed are more than enough to mark this rock as the former playground of psychopaths. You know, a place that has seen this much violence deserves a name befitting of its corruption. And the 2 boys certainly gave it one. When both men were interviewed without having seen or talked to each other in a decade, they both independently referred to this rock by the same name, the SLAB. Okay, I think I got it. I see the light, so I hope you guys can hear me. Going out for a little hike today. Blackstone Valley in Cumberland, Rhode Island. There's a little rock I want to show you guys just down the way here. It's pretty buggy out, so I got my head net on, of course. And I guess that's about it. So yeah, very pretty out today. Look, I just love the plant life out here. It's just so beautiful, right? Oh man. Oh, do you see that blue jay? Wow. All right. Here's our rock. Or should I say rocks? So what I want to tell you about, this rock is actually made, it's aptly named. It's called Cumberlandite for the town of Cumberland that's in here, right? And this is actually the only place on the entire planet that you can find Cumberlandite, making it one of the rarest rock types in the entire world. Cool, huh? There's like maybe about a 4-acre little stretch of land here, and almost all the rocks you can find in this little area are made of this Cumberlandite. Now, I'm not a geologist or anything, so I can't tell you a ton about like the composition of the rock or anything, but I do know it's got a high amount of iron and titanium in it compared to the more plentiful kind of rocks you can find around here. Oh, you guys hear that plane? Whatever, I'm sure you can hear me. What was I? Oh, it's got a lot of iron and titanium in it, which makes the rock slightly magnetic, actually. Like if you stick a little fridge magnet on here, it'll just stay right on there, no problem. I was gonna bring one, but I left it in my car, and it's a bit of a trek out here, so maybe next time I'll do a part 2 if you guys want it. So yeah, the magnetism and the high amounts of metal has actually tripped people up before. Like there's little streams and rivers around here, and sometimes they'll drag some of this stuff downstream, and people will find it like far away from here, like down in Newport or something like that, and they'll think it's a meteorite. Isn't that funny? Imagine you find a rock, you think it's a meteorite, but nope, just a Cumberlandite. But yeah, I think that's all I got to tell you guys, so I guess I'll see you later. Yeah, I actually forgot something. One more thing I wanted to say, so I just walked back here because it's actually pretty important. This is pretty cool. They actually tried to make cannons out of this stuff in the Revolutionary War. All right, I think that's it for real now. See you guys later. Hey guys, what's up? One of you emailed me a tip about this big rock here. Said there's some kind of spirit present in this place, and you know, I tried to find some more information, but I couldn't really get anything. So I thought since I live close, I might as well just come out and, you know, give it a run with the spirit box, see if we can find anything. So all right, let's see if we can get any good results here. Is there a spirit here?
Yes.
Did you guys hear that? Say yes. Do you have a name?
John.
John. John, is there anything you can tell me about yourself? John, I'm listening. Do you guys hear that? John?
Definitely. I'm glad you asked. My name is John Fentplace, and I was the victim of mistaken identity. You see, back in the 1670s, a massive conflict known as King Philip's War was fought between New England's indigenous populations and European settlers. There was a particularly nasty battle fought down in South Kingston, Rhode Island, in the middle of December 1675, now called the Great Swamp Fight, in which a colonist militia attacked a Narragansett fort in the middle of the night. Right before the battle took place, a man whose name has been lost to history deserted from the militia, apparently intimidated by the cold and threat of blood. The deserter became something of a minor villain here in Rhode Island in the weeks after the Great Swamp Fight. There was constant talk of his cowardice and treason all throughout the small towns and settlements dotting the area. Unfortunately for me, I ended up the target of the colonists' anger. In January of 1676, I was riding my horse down the road just north of this rock when two men erroneously identified me as the deserter. I was dragged into the woods and beaten to death upon this very rock. Nowadays, the rock is known as Satan's Stone by the locals, because according to legend, as those two men rode by me, the devil himself cast a shadow down from the moon that turned my face into that of the deserter.
think I gotta call somebody. What is up, everybody? Do you guys want to hear something crazy about this big rock right here? Well, you know the writer H.P. Lovecraft, don't you? And you know he's from Rhode Island, don't you? But did you know that he thought up the basis to his story, The Horror at Red Hook, while sitting on this very rock? Yeah, happened back in 1924. We got records of it in his letters and everything. Well, that's about it for me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, someone just sent me this. Let's see what it is. Hey guys, I just found this rock here. I don't really know what it is. I know what those are. Those are the labor rocks. Cool. Maybe yeah, back in 1798, there was this small little like earthquake in Rhode Island, and according to this one dude, I think his name was Moses Sweet. Those rocks weren't there before the earthquake, and then they were right after. And I guess Moses lived like right next to the little hill they're on there, and he would go up there like every day. So he said that he knew for sure they weren't there before the earthquake because he was up there all the time, right? So he said the earth must have birthed the rocks. That's why they're called the labor rocks. Like he thought they shot out of the ground during the earthquake. I think they're also called the children of the earth sometimes, which I think is like way cooler of a name. I'm pretty sure scientists nowadays say, though, that the earthquake was like way too small to push rocks that big out of the ground, but who knows? Oh, I almost forgot. Like the best part of the story is actually how we know about the rocks, because the guy Moses, he actually sent out like 50 letters out about the rocks, like all over the place, to like local Cumberland government, Rhode Island legislature, priests, newspapers. Actually, he tried to send one to John Adams too, who's the president at the time. Oh, and the army. Yeah, he tried to send letters to a whole bunch of like high-ranking officers in the military, and they all pretty much said the same thing, like, oh my God, you won't believe these rocks came out of the ground. Gotta come see this, it's crazy. But yeah, I guess because he sent so many of those and was so like feverish about it, a lot of people think the guy was just trying to make money or get famous or something like that. Who knows though? All right, so that's it. Which of those 5 stories do you think was the truth? Was it the one about the rock being a surgeon's table for a couple of future murderers? Or was it the one about the rock itself being extremely rare? Is this a piece of Cumberlandite? Or is it the one about the poor man being mistaken for a deserter? Or was this where H.P. Lovecraft thought up one of his more famous stories? Or is it possible that these rocks were birthed out of the very ground itself? And the answer is that this rock is Cumberlandite. See, check it out. Little fridge magnet, sticks right on the side there. Pretty cool, huh? Everything I said in that short is the truth. This is the only place in the entire world where you can find Cumberlandite in this little 4-acre stretch right here. And Rhode Island's actually so proud of that Cumberlandite is actually the state rock of Rhode Island. So if you're from Rhode Island, you might have known the answer to this pretty easy, but I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed it.